Hey everybody, David here with Freedom Nation. Now, if you're wondering what's going to happen with your EIDL, many of you filled out an application at the beginning of this pandemic called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and that's probably the $10,000 grant everybody's talking about. You got to watch this video because I'm going to share with you the exact promissory note. I'm going to share the actual document with you. We're going to review that. We're also going to talk about what I've seen, how you qualify, who's qualifying, what's going on, and last but not least, what you should do with that money and how you can use it, okay? So let's go through this as fast as we can, but please stay to the end because I promise you I'm going to share with you some really good tips and strategies. Now, if you haven't already applied for the EIDL, I encourage you to do so right now. It is something that I can help you with, my team can help you with. There's still funds available for you. Please email me, David at Perez.com, and I'll help you with that process. All right, let's get to it. So the EIDL, the Economic Disaster or Injury Disaster Loan Program, was a program founded for you to be able to borrow money from the Small Business Administration so that you can operate during a natural disaster. Now, the natural disaster typically is a hurricane, a flood, something crazy, but in this case, it was even crazier. It was COVID-19. So you applied probably for a $10,000 grant, and many of you have probably already received that grant. And you're probably wondering, now what do I do? Well, over the last few days, we've had many of our clients send me emails saying, David, I just received an email, and even myself, from customer service, or it's disaster customer service at SBA.gov. And in that, it says, email, it says, please create your account. Okay, now that you've created an account, now let's talk about that. Once you create the account, it's going to give you an offer. It's going to say you've been approved for. Now, the max that I've seen so far has been 150,000, and I believe that's going to be across the board based on all the findings that I've done on research. So you're going to get between 150,000 and $1,000, and you can apply for that just by simply responding to that, do I want it? Now, this is crazy because if you think about traditional lending, if you've ever borrowed money from a bank or anybody, a mortgage, a personal loan, a car loan, they want to know financials, right? Most institutions want to know your bank statements, accounts, how much money you have, your job security. They want to know your tax returns and all those, cool things, profit and loss, balance sheets, all these things. And then they also want to know if you're going to be doing good in the next 12 months. Well, this one totally threw all that out the window. You just simply apply and you get it approved immediately. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you the actual document because I got approved about last Friday, and on this morning, actually, it's Tuesday, so 2 business days later, I had a deposit in my bank account. So I know it's there. I know it works. Now we're going to talk about how you get it and what you're going to do. So if you haven't received that email by now, it should still be coming. It's going to trickle out. There's going to be many people getting these emails. So I encourage you to look out for disaster customer service at SBA.gov. What I do is I usually go to my email and just type SBA, and it should be there. Now, I applied for all my disaster loan information. All those things were applied for on April 1st or 2nd. So that's when I got all my stuff in. So what are we today? The 18th of May. So we're about a month and a half, a little longer than that away from it. So you should be seeing yours soon. All right. So once you get that email, you'll update, and you'll accept the amounts. And then in a few days, they will send you something that looks like this. Let's share this with you. This is the promissory note. Check it out. Actually, I don't want to share that one. Let me share a different one. This one is, oh no, that's it. Okay, now you're going to see the promissory note. So this is the promissory note that's sent to you, and it says a few things. I'm going to go through it briefly, but I'm going to highlight. I've actually highlighted it. I've went through this 18 pages, and I went through it and I broke it down so you know exactly what it's saying in layman's terms, right? So first and foremost, once you get this loan, you're going to see it's just signatures. It tells you about making sure your name is specifically correctly in the same way in order. So first and foremost, it's going to tell you this loan, and it's of course made out to whom, your name, your company name, or personal name, and the amount of the loan in thousands, right? So if it's 150,000, which is the max, and by the way, if you got 150,000, I'm thinking that your business probably showed more than 250,000 in revenue or more, $250,000 in revenue or more. Now, once you get that, it tells you how many months right here. It'll actually share with you how many months it will take. Sorry, I'm going to resume out. There you go. How many months actually, or how many months you'll have to pay and how much you're going to pay a month. So over the course of 30 years, how much you're going to pay a month at the interest rate right here of 3.75%. Now, interesting thing here is that payment terms, all payments will begin 12 months after you receive the proceeds. So if you get it today, next May, you'll be paying the first payment, which is awesome. Collateral. they outline a lot of the collateral that could be taken in this particular transaction. So it's anything. Basically, you're pledging to the federal government that you're going to use this money the right way. And what that means to them is you're going to use it to buy and fund your business, but the collateral they're asking for is all the equipment, furnishing, anything that you own that's business related to your business, anything you purchase in the future with this money, anything that you have until this note is paid off, you pledge as collateral. So in the event that you can't pay this, you will owe this money back. All right, and actually I'm starting to see something. Let me see if I can actually get you a better copy of this. There you go. This one I think is better. Perfect. Sorry about that, guys. So as you can see, this is the highlighting. It tells you about the collateral, the types of collateral, the property, payables, receivables, everything in here, what you pledge, your firstborn child. Next, it talks about requirements related to collateral. In the event that you mess up here, really what it's saying is you're going to have to give them that collateral. And you can't pledge anything that you own to anybody else without the proper consent of the Small Business Administration. So there's a lot of restrictions here. Now, just like any loan and covenants that you have, just to be clear, anytime you have a loan, every loan has all this language. The challenge here is just knowing you've got to pay them. As long as you pay them, they're not going to bother you. They're not going to come take your house or take your cars or take your furniture or any of that. You just have to pay your note. Now, use of the loan proceeds, very important, right? You've got to use this money for disaster efforts that were impacted, or for the disaster that was impacted to you between January 31st and now, right? So you've got to use these proceeds to use on your business. Now, it can be used for general operating, to pay bills, to work on your business. You cannot, let me just be clear, you can't use this just to expand or pay off existing debt or, buy a car or boat or any of those things. This money needs to be used for the operations of your business, utilities, rent, or lease payments, same thing, right? Phone bills, all the things that you would use to operate your business currently, that's what you would use this for. You can't just take this money out and use it as living. You can't use it for, going fishing or on vacation. Now, if you had money in your bank account prior to this, you definitely can use the proceeds that you had from your business profits to do those things, because that's owner's draw. But this money must be used in a proper fashion. So you've got to do that, okay? So borrow will not use or indirectly use or relocate to anywhere else without the consent of the Small Business Administration. What that means is you can't move. If you've got a business in a specific area, you need to stay there. The whole point of this money is to keep business where it needs to be, right? And of course, you make sure that you use this money in the right way. So you've got to use this money again, as we mentioned. So borrow will sign and return the loan closing docs, just to be clear, within 2 months. So if you receive the email today, you have 2 months to actually get this signed and pushed over. If you receive any other grants or proceeds from anywhere else, you need to let the SBA know so that they don't, they may not do anything about it, but you just need to let them know. Bookkeeping and accounting. Now, here's a big deal, okay? If you're a business right now and you don't have proper bookkeeping, if you're not doing proper accounting, if you're not doing the things. Now, proper accounting means every month you must have a profit and loss statement, which is a total revenue generated, gross sales minus expenses equals what? Negative, positive. You need to be running payroll the right way, not 1099s unless your business warrants that. You need to be paying people the right way. You need to be using your QuickBooks software or some sort of accounting software to manage your books. If you aren't doing that right now, let's get on a call, David at david@davidapettis.com, and I'll work with you. We can help you. Our team does that for businesses all over the place right now, especially when they're receiving loan proceeds. You need to get your act together because they have up to 3 years to audit your books. Every year every year on the third month, between the first 90 days of the year, they can ask for your bookkeeping and payroll and accounting records. Your tax returns can be audited. Your financials need to be reviewed at any time. The IRS can be giving them your information. SBA has the right to review anything, so you might as well do it right now. So I encourage you, if you're not doing it yet, if you don't have a proper bookkeeper, and proper means prompt and on time and reliable and who understands business, not just numbers. Business is so important because your bookkeeper or an accountant shouldn't just be doing numbers for you. They actually should be processing things. They should be working for you. They should be doing something for you. They should be providing reports and explaining them to you. And so you can use this to make sure you do that. So make sure you do this, right? All federal and state agencies have the right to provide any documents that you report to them to the SBA. Let me go down here and see if there's anything. So I also highlight here civil and criminal penalties. In the event that you are caught using this money in inappropriate ways, the Small Business Administration can charge you 1.5 times the loan amount. So if you get $150,000, right, they can charge you 1.5 of that in a penalty because you owe that money back. Okay, you should use these proceeds as you're supposed to. Disbursement of loan, it says here that it's going to disperse it based on draws, but in this case, they're doing lump sums. I just received a lump sum this morning. This is just numbo jumbo. Sign your entity name, sign it. There you go. And then if you go down here, this talks about lobbying. If you're a lobbyist or you're going to use this proceeds to go and say, hey, I want to vote for Trump or I want to vote for the oil industry, that you can't use this proceeds for. This just goes through all the proceeds stuff, small business, equal opportunity. And then if you go down, it's again, this is really where it comes down to the disbursement and all that stuff. But this is the actual promissory note. It's the same information that we reviewed on top. The security agreement and all the same things we reviewed. I'm just going to highlight it because it's the exact same mumbo jumbo that we read on top, 18 pages of it. So there you have it. That's the promissory note that you'll have to sign in order to receive funding. Funding takes about 2 days. 2 days. So from the moment that you sign the agreement, it takes about 2 days. I just saw that. I noticed that anybody who applies for this loan, if they made more than 250 in gross sales, if they put that on their application, then they would qualify probably for 150,000, which is the max. Now, if you applied and you think that you were underfunded or you didn't know how to fill out the application or you need to alter the application that you had, then I would encourage you to contact the SBA, which is the SBA. And that there's a number on the bottom of the portal when you create your account that you can contact and let them know, hey, I made a mistake. I didn't do this right. Can you help me edit or alter this? Let's do it. I would encourage you to do that. Now, if you haven't already applied for the EIDL or the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, I can help you. Let our team of experts help you through that process by gathering the appropriate documents and submitting them or preparing them for you for submittal to your lender or institution. If you haven't done the EIDL $10,000 grant, let us help you. And then, of course, when you get this information and get it, we can help you with that too. All right, last but not least, don't leave me, all right? Here's the last thing I want to talk to you about. Using the funds and how do you make or use of this funds that in the best way possible. So I like to think about it this way. Even if you didn't need the money, I think you should take it. And I think you should put it in a bank account, even though it's incurring 3.75% interest. That is a lot of interest. I mean, it may sound really small, but interest is interest, guys. But here's what I would tell you. I don't believe that the end is near from this pandemic. I believe that shopping as it was before is not going to continue the same way again. I believe that eating out and exercise and doing the things that, of course, we normally do are going to be impacted, which means all businesses are impacted. When there's less people working, impact comes. When there's less people shopping, impact comes, right? So you have to be, proactive right now. Having cash is not a bad thing. Now, what I would tell you is if you have working capital right now, prior to receiving this funding, what I would do is I would put that money aside and I would leave that in a bank account for a rainy day. That's your savings account, if you will. I would use this $150,000 to operate my business just like it's promised and said, because keeping it in a bank account probably wouldn't be in your best interest because the Small Business Administration definitely would probably want that money back if you aren't going to use it. So I encourage you to take it. I encourage you to set your current payroll, your current, whatever it is, your not current payroll, your current working capital that you had, set it aside and let's use that money for investments, use that money to grow other businesses or your current business, put in it wherever you want to use it. Or in my case, I would tell you to keep a rainy day fund because you just don't know what's going to happen. So I hope this video helped you. Contact me if you need me, David at davidaperez.com. Freedom Nation here on the website. I'll put the links below. If you need anything, if you want to schedule an appointment with me, if I can help you in any way, shape, or form growing your business, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you guys, and I wish you nothing but success today.